Hey, what is going on, video? And today I'm going to be talking about why I think the Philadelphia 76ers could make the NBA Finals, or could they, or can they? Like, that's going to be a question I'm going to be answering. Before y'all jump down my throat and say I'm a Philadelphia 76ers fan, no, I am actually a New Orleans Pelicans fan, so don't even try to call me a bandwagon Philadelphia 76ers fan, and that's why I'm making this video. No, I'm making this video because I think there's a legit argument that I think they could make the Finals, and a legit argument why they could not make the Finals. I think there's really two good arguments you could put up for both sides, so yeah. And you know, if you do like the video at any point, hit the like button. If you're really like the video at any point, hit the subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. Without further ado, without me rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so my first reason is going to be, like, all the starters' games kind of complement each other, and what I mean by that, right now the starters for the 76ers are Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, Robert Covington, Joel Embiid, and Dario Saric, and I mean, the reason that all their games do complement each other, just look at it. Alright, so, pretty much they have three shooters, JJ Redick, Saric, and Covington. They can all shoot pretty good, and they can all just play, they're all around pretty good, and I mean, with how good of a passer Ben Simmons actually is, well, I mean, he's going to hit a wide open shooter. If he's open, he's going to hit you, and I mean, obviously as a shooter, you want to be open, so if someone can hit you in rhythm while you're wide open, we could probably get knocked down the shot, and that helps a ton to have someone like that. But then vice versa, with how good of a slasher Ben Simmons is, I mean, the defense would collapse on Ben Simmons, and then he could either pass it out to the shooters, or if the defense decides to stay on the shooters and not collapse on Ben Simmons, well, then he's going to finish at the bucket easily. I mean, it's just a lose-lose for whoever has to play his team. They usually match up pretty good against every single team in the NBA for the most part. But another way all the games complement each other is because, alright, so Joel Embiid, you also have that monster down low, probably one of the best centers in the entire league, and I mean, Joel Embiid, he's a matchup problem for anyone, so if you don't collapse on him when he gets the ball, then he's going to be one-on-one, and then he's going to cover somebody. But then also, Joel Embiid, he's such a presence, he usually gets double-teamed when he gets the ball, but once you double-team, that means you have to take one of the guys off the shooters, and then when the shooters are open, it just causes huge matchup and defensive problems for him, and it really does hurt them a ton. And I mean, my second reason is going to be their defense. I mean, right now their defense is completely locked down. They are currently ranked 5th in the NBA in defense, and as they have like probably one of the best centers in the NBA that can block shots, can just get rebounds and just contest a lot of shots in the lane. And he's very athletic, so he can block and everything. But then you also have a long athletic point guard in Ben Simmons, who is very good. Like, he's very good on defense. I mean, the dude's good for 2 steals per game and 1 blocks per game. That's extremely good for a point guard, and also he rebounds the ball very well. And that kind of segues into my third point, which is their rebounding. They are currently ranked 4th in the NBA in offensive rebounds per game, but that also means they get the 4th most second chance points per game, which completely helps their offense and just makes it that much harder to guard them. But they are actually ranked number 1 in defense rebounds per game, so that means they give up the least amount of second chance points, which helps their defense, and that's why they're ranked so high on the defensive rankings, because they give up so little second chance points that it's hard to really score on them, because usually a team that gets a lot of offensive rebounds is going to win, but obviously they do not allow that to happen very often. So yeah, those are pretty much all the reasons why I think they could make the finals. So let's just recap what I said. I mean, all their games complement each other. They have great matchups against almost every team in the NBA. Their defense is actually absolutely locked down, and their rebounding is really good. But now that I got into all the reasons why I think they could, let's get into reasons why I don't think they could make the finals. One reason is they're way too young. Right now, I'm pretty sure out of all their starters, JJ Redick is the only player to have playoff experience, or at least deep playoff experience, and that was with the Los Angeles Clippers. And I mean, their 2 best players have literally no playoff experience. I mean, Ben Simmons is a rookie. I mean, obviously he's not gonna have none. But Joel Embiid, he was terrible his first year because he didn't have Ben Simmons. Well, I mean, he wasn't terrible, but the team was terrible. They didn't make the playoffs. So, I mean, 2 of your best players, 2 of your leaders don't have really any playoff experience or any big game experience. And then also, I mean, the rookie Ben Simmons, I mean, I guess I can say the leader of the team because he's a point guard. Well, I mean, with him having no experience, that's going to hurt them a ton. And I mean, a lot of veterans might kind of take offense that a rookie is leading a team into a playoff push. And they might not like that. Veterans might not want to accept that a rookie is leading the team into there. You never know. Someone might have a big ego, and just that could ruin a team's chances. And also, my second reason, I think they're still 1 piece away. So although, yes, they have a great point guard and a great center, but I mean, they're still missing that knockdown, cutthroat, ice in his veins shooter that is is going to hit the clutch shot to win the game or something. Markelle Fultz was supposed to be that, but then he got injured. He somehow forgot his entire shot and became a 50-year-old old man that can't shoot anymore. I don't know what happened to that dude, but yeah, he just forgot how to shoot. Hopefully he gets better and can become this cutthroat shooter, but as of right now, they're still missing that piece. I mean, Klay Thompson isn't free agency, so if they're able to pick someone up like Klay Thompson in free agency, I think they will be legit championship contenders because, well, I mean, just think, you have Joel Embiid in the paint that you have to pay attention to. Ben Simmons, if he gets a mid-range shot, I mean, he's already so good at driving that you have to respect his drive, but then he's so good at passing, you have to respect his dish out, so if you go to double team him, he's going to hit whoever's wide open. If you leave Klay Thompson wide open, he's going to hit that shot, and then Klay Thompson can also get his own shot off the dribble, so I mean, that would be almost unguardable, in my opinion. Then you still have Robert Covington, who's on the up and up, and JJ Redick probably coming off the bench now, who's a great shooter, and that way even enforce their bench. So I do think they could definitely be a championship contender if they just pick up that one final piece. But now I'm going to get into, do I personally think they can make the NBA Finals? This year, I do not, but I would not be surprised in 1 or 2 years that we see the 76ers in the finals, because like I said, say they do pick up this great knockdown shooter in free agency, well, I mean, how are you going to, and then Markelle Fultz comes back next year and becomes a half-decent player, how are you going to guard that? Now you have Markelle Fultz at point guard, who can maybe get you 11, 12 points per game, 5 assists. Ben Simmons at, I guess, small forward, and then you have Ben Simmons at small forward, Klay Thompson at shooting guard, Joel Embiid at center, and maybe Robert Covington at power forward, or Dario Saric at power forward. I mean, that's a great starting lineup. And then your bench would be Robert Covington, and JJ Redick would be coming off of it with TJ McConnell, who's been playing pretty good this year. I mean, that would be an almost unguardable team. And then also, I mean, Klay Thompson, he's not a slouch on defense. He's actually a very underrated defender. So, I mean, him on defense would be huge for him. I just think that team would be able to make the NBA Finals if they were able to pick someone up like Klay Thompson. But as of right now this year, I do not, only because, I mean, just look who they have to compete with. There's no way they can beat the Warriors, Houston, and say they somehow, in some way, get through the West. Well, then you have to, I mean, through the East, then you have to go through, like I said, Houston or the Warriors. I don't even think they could beat the Cavs or the Raptors or the Celtics in a 7-game series, much less a team just like Golden State and Houston. And I mean, that experience is also going to come to hurt them. I mean, once they get more experience, I could see them making the finals too. Maybe with just these two, because I do think Joel Embiid's already probably the best center in the league, and Ben Simmons will probably be the best point guard in the league one day. So I mean, if you combine a best center plus best point guard plus decent role players all around them, that could be a finals team. You never know. So I really would like to see how that would show up. But unfortunately, guys, it's going to be it for this video. So comment below. Do you think they can make the finals this year? Do you think they can make the finals in the following years? Do you think they're only one piece away? Do you think I missed something, why they won't or why they will? Comment all that below. And also, if you did like the video at any point, hit the like button. If you really like the video and want to make it up to me and make the world for me, hit the subscribe button. We're at 147 subscribers. We're only 3 away from 150. And obviously, I cannot be here without my man, Jesus Christ, the real homie OG upstairs. And I mean, I wouldn't be here without you either, but I'm truly blessed to be here. And I hope y'all have a blessed day too. Kids, don't think about you and never do vegetables. Always eat drugs. Stay safe. Free seatbelt. Goodbye.